All right, morning guys. This is Eric, the OBX Picker. If you've not seen me before, I'm actually a part-time reseller. I just started back in September, and I've already got my listings up to 600 listings. I'm actually doing pretty good with this thing. I look to take it even further with the assistance of other YouTubers and the reselling community. So I make these videos just to kind of show you what's selling out there, and just show you what I've learned in my personal experience. There are obviously other people with far more experience, and there's some people with less experience, but I just wanted to be informative and show you guys what sells for me and what I've had success with and what I've failed with as well. So I just want to be transparent in that. So we do have a few items going out today. The first item going out is this Lionel train ornament set. Sorry for the glare, it's reflecting my light. But this is retail arbitrage. I haven't had a ton of luck with retail arbitrage. This item sold for $6.75 plus shipping. I actually picked this thing up. I think I ended up paying $3 for this. I had a go like a Christmas changeover sale, so that's one thing that went off. I do have at the end of the video, I'm going to show you kind of a buglo for videos, just so you'll know what some things to look out for. The next item going out, I actually sold one of these over the weekend as well. This is actually a retail arbitrage item that I picked up at Walgreens, their Christmas clearance, and they actually had a great sale on these. I went to not as a popular Walgreens, kind of in a smaller town, and was able to buy quite a bit of inventory from those guys, and that's done pretty good. So on the one hand, you have the Christmas ornaments that didn't do much, and on this hand, you got these, which I've actually been turning a pretty decent profit on. These are the Jazzware domes, is what they're called. They're XMen figures, and they're basically in like a bigger version of what you would get out of a gumball machine back in the day. I actually sold this one right here, Phoenix. So that's going out for $6.50 plus shipping, going out on these. I think I got all these for about a buck. So $1 into about $4.50 profit. Well, sorry, about $4 profit total. So that's going out today as well. Basically anything Marvel, for the most part, does hold some value, just because all the movies that have came out recently, for sure. This next item I've had for a little bit. This thing is a Lego set. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's actually their Shell Razor bus. My nephew is a huge Lego kid. He does, like, man, tons of work for me as far as when it comes to Legos. He can put these things together in like 20 minutes and be like, Uncle Eric, it's out of this, this, and this. This is what's missing. So sometimes he even tells me the exact brick that's missing. So thankfully to him, this went out to for $18.75 plus shipping on top. I'd actually picked this up for a couple bucks at a local thrift. So pretty good turn on that. I've been sitting on it for a little while though. I think I've had it since maybe November, late November. So not a quick flip, but a good flip. This next item is one that I recently got at a estate sale. I paid like 20 bucks for a whole bag of stuff. Probably had about 20 items. So I'll just say I have a buck in it, but I've actually sold something already that's paid for that bag. So this went out for $9.99 free ship. This is a refrigerator replacement filter. Keep an eye out on these. Some of them are real valuable. This one is okay, but nothing great. Next item going out, I actually just listed last night. It immediately sold, literally within probably 10 minutes of me listing it. It sold. This is a Franklin Merriam. It's a speaking English Spanish dictionary. So if you see these little things out there, Franklin, most of their translators are worth decent money. This went out for $36. So pretty good little turn on that. I was excited. 36 bucks. This is from another estate sale that I went to recently. That same thing. This time I picked up a whole bag full of stuff, and I spent 40 bucks, but it was a big IKEA bag, and it actually had some good items in it. So with this item right here, I'm back to close to profit. So I'll be in the profit pretty good with my next sale. So, and a couple of those items are actually somewhat valuable. This item actually sold this morning before I got to do this video. So I'm going to go ahead and include it with today's, because I'm probably going to add tomorrow's sales as well. This half of this video might be a little short. So this item is a smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. It's basically a smoke detector, carbon and monoxide. This is one you have to wire in. It's not one that you can just put a battery in. It does have it is new in the box. I got this from the same estate sale that I got the refrigerator filter from, and this sold for $24.99 free ship. So that estate sale has turned out pretty good so far for me, and I have a few other things off of that I know that will be very profitable. And then, as promised, I was going to just share some Bolo stuff with you. Keep in mind when you're looking for DVDs or VHSs, we know VHSs don't bring as much profit unless you find something rare that's never been released since the VHS, then you might have a little profit there. But in the DVD market, what you're looking for is things that don't stream. If you have movies or old TV shows that aren't streaming anymore or aren't in syndicate anymore, you know, when you go to Barnes and Noble and you see all the series, the old series, and then if you'll look those things up, and just see if it's a streaming service or not. I actually went to one of my local thrifts, and I've sold this series that I'm going to show you multiple times. I've actually when I went there, I picked up the older ones, which were worth even more than this one, and various others in that series that are worth a lot of money because they're not on the streaming services. Those are the things you're looking for. This is the new Avengers. The ones I've sold a lot of are the Avengers, not the ones that are through Marvel, but the old British television show. It was in the late 60s, early 70s. This is actually 1976 version of that show, and it was the re-release. This isn't streaming, but this series, four DVDs, sold for $35.50. So I've sold the series, I believe it was the 65 series, sold for $140. So just a quick bolo for you. If you're out there sourcing, look for DVDs that aren't on streaming services, especially if it's in an era where people are nostalgic. You know, they like the old shows that they watched when they were younger. I know I'm the same way. I look for things I watched when I was younger. I was just the other day checking out Kung Fu, which is one of those David Carradine. Back when I was young, it was on TV, and other shows. You know, you think back to things that you watched when you were younger. So this is 1976. I did not watch this show when I was younger because I was only 2 years old at the time, 1976. So at any rate, those are some things to look out for. I will tell you this, just a little encouragement. Yesterday, on Monday, I actually only had one sale, and it came in early that morning, and it was a $50 item, and it came through then. But man, I just like everybody else with eBay, you have ups and downs, and like I always say, it's just a matter of being consistent, and in what you're putting in, the work you're doing. If you consistently work hard at it and consistently list items, I know I see stuff all the time that people are, you know, complaining about eBay's slow or eBay's this, and a lot of times for us, like a lot of people, we look to put the blame on somebody else. When I know in my own store, I had a couple of slow days. I had a slow weekend. But honestly, last week, I didn't list as consistently as what I normally would. So, You know, I can take the blame for that as much as I can dish it out to something else. We're looking for some kind of magic formula, and people are fickle. You know, sometimes they're buying, sometimes they're looking for specific things, and other times they're not. So one of those things. But if you can consistently get better at what you're doing, I know for me, I've gone through and purged my store some with some items that I picked up early on that I didn't know a whole lot about. And I was looking at sold comps. I was like, oh man, there's one that sold. But what I weren't looking is that there was 300 people have the same item listed. And only one has sold within the past, 90 days. So that should clue you in that you may sell it, but it's going to take a while, maybe years. But if we source items, do a little bit better job at that on our end, that's how you can have a little bit more consistent sales. So for all you guys out there reselling, I actually did run a little longer than I thought, so I'm not going to add tomorrow sales onto this. I'm just going to keep it as is, and we'll go ahead and put this thing out probably this afternoon. So for those that are resellers, good luck out there reselling. Remember, just be consistent in what you do. If you're just watching this because you stumbled across it, we're glad to have you, and thank you for being supportive of the channel. If you can, like and subscribe, drop a comment. If there's anything, maybe you have found something kind of unique in the video section that isn't streaming, man, I'd appreciate it if you would share. But thank you guys. Y'all have a great day. See you next time.